Greetings, sentient beings. This stream is not intended for children. There is likely to be harsh language and adult themes. So,
So shall we prove the adult language and harsh themes by saying every name we can think of for male and female anatomy?
yeah, do whatever you want, actually. Right now, we don't have an audience. Be Mindful was here and said he'd be back, but
No, it's fine. I was
right
just
now,
kidding.
there's nobody watching.
I was just kidding. That was something that my a college professor did. Um, I took a class on human sexuality and development, and um, one of the things that she did was like the second day of class. Um, all we did was sit there and just talk about the physicality of it, like literally talking about penises and vaginas. Um, but she wanted us to use every word we could think of for them because she didn't want us doing that thing where that people do when they're uncomfortable saying that word and they're like, penis, really quietly,
Yeah.
instead of just being like penis. It's like it's a technical name for a part of the body. Why are you so worried about saying it?
Yeah, and it's ridiculous how many euphemisms people have come up with.
Hashtag,
There's
hashtag Victorians spoil everything.
well, yeah. I was gonna say that there's something to be said about the fact that almost anything we say can be turned into a euphemism.
Well, Laura, to start out, why don't we, I think everybody who normally comes through here knows Pirate Kitty, but why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Laura. I'm an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a railway modeler.
A
I'm
whatner?
a railway modeler, so I do
Oh, okay,
model trains.
Yeah.
gotcha.
Um, I'm transgendered, which is why I've got a slightly deeper voice than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. That's about it, really.
Well, we've
Okay.
been on a stream together a couple times actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like this is the first time we've met.
Yeah.
Oh. Weren't we on Lavender's? Was it Lavender's Hangout?
Could have been.
Lavender
Um,
Lady? You know, Lavender Lady.
yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been. The only two streams I reliably go on are lavenders and purples, so it's got to be one of these two.
Mm. In that case, it would have been Lavender's then.
Yeah, I think we actually first met on one of Jen's streams.
Mm.
But I see we've got Robert X and Doc Fearsome in here now.
Hello, guys.
Hey, guys. So, Doc was talking about driving up to help me unload the truck, but turns out it's a bit far for him.
Mm.
And
Would probably be like,
can a dinosaur get into a truck? Big enough?
well, some dinosaurs were no bigger than chickens, so.
Mm.
However, a Triceratops, on the other hand, yes, was about the size of a school bus.
Yeah. Well, I got a big day coming up in 3 days now. It's currently 6 a.m. It will be 1 year since I changed my name.
Ah,
Nice.
Yeah, something really powerful about changing your name. Because it was effectively I had a pseudonym. But if I got stopped by the police for a taillight test or something, just to use that as an example, and I was asked my name, even though I was dressed up like a woman, looked like a woman, and all that kind of stuff, I'd still have to give a male name, which isn't much fun.
yeah.
Whereas, even if I look like a guy, tomorrow, not that I will, because I'll give away all my guy clothes, but even if I did that, there wouldn't, I would give my name and it would be a girl's name, so it's my real name. And also, it's a manifestation of me because I didn't, this isn't a name that you're given. This is a name I created.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's a
gives it a bit.
self-identifier.
Yeah,
It's
that's
how you saw yourself.
yeah, that's exactly it. So I'm, I'm gonna phone my friend up later, and ask her where we're gonna have dinner because my friend who helped me change my name, she's a paralegal.
Mhm.
Um, I've invited her for dinner. Not round like go to a restaurant or something. So I put some money aside for that, and don't know where we're gonna go yet.
Well, it's definitely an occasion, yeah.
Mm.
Kind of like a second birthday.
Well, funnily enough, I'm sort of thinking of it like a first birthday because it's been a year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but I mean, as you're kind of reborn into being another person.
hmm yeah, it's weird how it's been so quick. A year has flown by.
Yeah, I had my last name legally changed, but it's not quite the same thing.
Mm.
Although that was done to some degree to divorce myself from my biological family.
Oh, why have you got? Is there a problem with your family? I don't really know you very well.
Um, well, it's complicated. It's not really a lot of animosity, but um, my family takes the attitude that if we don't talk about something, it never actually happened.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, so they've never really acknowledged who I am.
Mm.
They've got their picture of who I was when I was a teenager and really have never let me grow out of that.
That's weird.
I actually don't think that that's too weird. I think a lot of people end up doing that kind of thing. I know my father, for one thing, has a really hard time accepting that my sister and I are actual intelligent adults
Mm.
or capable of forming opinions on things. He'll get really irritated when we try and point things out to him, like, "Hey, that's kind of stupid," or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't even see a point in mentioning that I'm an atheist because I was pagan for 25 years and only one member of my family has ever acknowledged that.
Mm. The irony of it is, of course, that a pagan generally refers to anything other than Christianity, the original sense of it.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
let's not do that, actually.
Yeah, well, that is the colloquial definition as any religion that's not based on the Bible.
No, that's Christian propaganda. Sorry. No, there was just literally just this thing happening on Twitter the other day, um, where one of the pagans that I know was saying that atheists shouldn't call themselves self heathens because the original use from 1,000 years ago was based on the Germanic word for hearth, and that us calling us ourselves heathens, if that's something we choose to do, is trying to lump ourselves in with a religious group.
Mm.
I'm just
Okay, I kind of heard something about that, but I never saw the Twitter stream. I tend to avoid the public areas of Twitter.
there's some people that, like, I don't have an affinity for the term heathen. It was never something that was a big deal to me.
Hmm.
But let me see. I'm trying to find it.
I've used it myself enough times, but I tend not to get attached to any of the terms.
Yeah, as he says, I keep seeing this, so I suppose I'd address it as others are doing. Atheist, you should put down the title of heathen. I know it's a funny, ironic label you picked up, but heathens are real and we are spiritual by definition. It's appropriation at best, rude at worst. And I'm just kind of like, I don't particularly care about the title, I don't use it, but by definition, a heathen is anybody who's not one of the major world religions. And I don't know. My response to that was like, good luck trying to convince people who've adopted that title that they should go back to a 1,000-year-old. I went to the wrong version of social media.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, see, and even when I was in the pagan community, they made a distinction between pagans and heathens.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously,
You know.
pagan is pagan religion. I've got no problem with that.
Yeah.
My reply was, I think you're going to be hard pressed to convince anyone who likes to use heathen as their title to accept that they should stop using it and default to a 1,000-plus-year-old definition.
Well, I mean that's the case, isn't it? Words change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and there's constantly arguments like that on all sorts of terms. But
I was almost going to be like, are you going to become. Never mind, I'm not going to make that joke, but you probably know what I was going to say, given who we were speaking about a couple minutes ago.
yeah. Yeah, I don't get that much into arguing the definitions either because it's
Mhm.
like so much of it varies. The one thing I do have problems with is just that like even within the LGBT community, it's like within some groups some terms are considered offensive and in other groups they're okay with them. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm never even sure what terms I'm allowed to use, even though I've been part of various groups in that community since the 80s. Because it's like
Mhm.
for some of the groups in Minneapolis, they were fine with things that people in New York took as being offensive.
Yeah, but that's just life in general.
Yeah,
People are gonna wah, depending on where they are and what they're saying. I'm surprised I didn't get my head bit off today, actually.
Hmm?
Because I commented on this thread because I got confused. Um, it was somebody who was saying that they were cis, but their profile said they were a femboy. And so I was like, wait, aren't those two like.
Opposite things, yeah.
But apparently it's not.
Okay.
Because even though somebody's a femboy, they still identify as male.
Hmm.
They're just a feminine man or a feminine boy, or they want to remain that way. And I was just like, okay. I said, wait, I'm so confused. How can one be cisgender? And then I went a person who personally identifies with the gender corresponding with their birth sex, and a femboy. Am I missing something? And then I said, femboy isn't cis? Question mark? Question mark. And somebody went and explained it. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't know that.
I would have been confused by that too.
Hmm. And then one person said, "Do you know what a femboy is?" And I replied with, "Apparently not." My phone feels crooked. It's weird.
Well, it probably has a level app, so you could check it.
It's probably just the case feeling weird. I bought this case for it. Instead of being smart and getting a case that's like will protect me if I drop it, I decided to go for the pretty pink and blue case with the sparkly hearts in the back. Because I always went with really protective cases for my phones. I'm like, it's only $100 phone. If I break it, oh well. Could just get a new one.
Yeah, it turns out I'm going to have to buy a new phone because the service provider I've been using has said that they're doing a network upgrade and this model will no longer be supported.
Yeah, they did that a lot to a lot of people who like using simple flip phones and things.
Yeah. Just kind of sucks if I have to do it because their hardware isn't going to support it. You'd think the least they could do is, like give me a coupon for something off on buying a new one.
Let me see if I can do this with this game. I was telling you about the
Oh, I see it. You want me to share this?
yeah, I was going to show you what happens when you have lighthead. Oh, mouse. Okay, but there's a guy with lighthead.
What are you playing?
Yep, I see.
It's called Two Point Hospital.
Right.
And this is the room where they get treated. I'm going to show you how they treat them.
Oh. Huh.
That's
Okay.
the treatment process for it. This level
Okay.
doesn't have a lot of different conditions for me to treat. Lightheadedness is about the only one.
This sounds a little bit like. It looks like a lot like Theme Hospital.
Yeah, probably closest thing I could think of. When I was describing it to Purple, I said, think SimCity but with hospitals.
Was it a free game or?
No, it's not free. I can't remember how much it was. My boyfriend bought it for me. $30. Oh, about 30, he says. Health inspection. I'm hoping that somebody will show up with crabhead. Crabheadedness is what it's called. I was telling Purple it's got all kinds of goofy conditions like crabheadedness, and then there's pandemic, where you've got a frying pan stuck to your head or something.
Right.
It's all a bunch of puns.
Yep. Well, I've got a bit over a week to finish getting everything packed up here.
Are you moving?
Yep. Oh, you didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah, I've been doing a fundraiser for a moving fund that finally going to get back to Minnesota, which is actually something that I've been trying to do for about 8 years now. And actually, I had saved up about $5,000 to be ready for when I finally found a place I could afford there. But then I got screwed out of about 6 months' pay. So all that went to pay basic living expenses, and my bank account's basically dry again. But I found a apartment in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So would have preferred St. Paul, but St. Cloud's only about an hour and a half away, and the rent is considerably cheaper.
Yeah, I got a trans friend who lives on the other side of the city. She is Pakistani, and whose family tried to kill her for being trans. So she ended up coming here and ended up with refugee status. And now she lives in a part of Manchester which has a lot of Muslim people who also don't like her for being trans, which is kind of dangerous because people do that old honor killing stuff sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's bad, but as soon as you said that she was Pakistani, I kind of went, "Eee,"
Mm.
made that grimace face, like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they can get persecuted for a number of things. Just the whole. Well, I don't know how it is over there, but I know certainly in the US, people don't understand much about the culture, and just anything people don't understand, they tend to have a negative response to.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, I'm kind of wearing myself down just from trying to get everything ready and get everything organized.
Mm.
That's
Yeah, I'm
understandable.
sort of thinking similar stuff as well at myself because so I was getting disabled benefits and then they stopped it
Oh,
because they changed me to a different one. And then they said I didn't have enough points. They actually give me 0 points. And then just as we were about to go to appeal in the next couple of weeks, kind of thing, I get a call from the Department for Work and Pensions, benefits people, and she talks to me for a little while and says, "Okay, we're prepared to award you the standard rates for the new one." So
okay.
I'm now,
Oh,
yeah, well, the new one pays more, which is fantastic.
mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
don't
more
know how
money
your
than I've ever
system
had
works down.
before. Hmm.
I don't know how the system works down there for that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain, to be honest. But yeah, it's just like, oh, great, I got more money coming, which is fantastic, and it's pleasing to not have to worry about money again, or anymore rather.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm on a
aren't you lucky?
Mm. I do think I am actually.
Mm.
I'm on a partial disability. They figure I can work part time, but not quite up to half time.
Mm.
Of course, I've been diagnosed with three more things since they decided I was disabled, so they didn't have proper diagnosis for half the stuff at the time. But the way the system works here, even getting it reevaluated doesn't really matter at this point because it's not going to make any difference.
Mm.
Even if they decided I was fully disabled, because they figure it on what your earnings were in like the previous 10 months before they certified the disability. So since I was already on the partial disability, that wouldn't come out to be anything more than what I'm get.
Gotcha.
And figuring out what my income would have been before, that's a pain in the butt anyway, since I've been self employed.
Mm. Being self-employed sounds like it must suck sometimes. I mean, yeah, it's great. You get to control a lot of things, but you don't get any of the benefits, you know.
Yeah, It's pretty hard on the financial level and all the paperwork you have to keep up with
Yeah.
just to make sure you're reporting everything properly for taxes and that. But interestingly, well, March 1st, we'll be moving into the new apartment. Actually, we'll be moving in on the 29th, but that also happens to be the anniversary of the channel that lived here.
Hmm?
YouTube deleted my 2 previous channels with no explanation.
Oh.
So March
right.
1st will be 2 years since this channel was created. So just odd that's all happening at the same time. Oh. So pretty low key night. Nobody's got much of anything to talk about, huh?
Eh.
No, not really. Usually I just ride on what other people are saying.
I'm distracted by the video game I'm playing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Neil's stream was fun yesterday.
Why? What did you talk
Yeah.
about?
Oh, just general stuff.
Well, Neil was interviewing her on his deconverted stories yesterday.
Yeah. I went for that.
So, yeah, I came in a bit late, but I caught most of it.
This one contended my deconversion story was fairly boring. So we spent most of the streams talking about faithless form.
Well, I missed the actual deconversion story.
I think I've mentioned it here before.
Hello.
Spent some time as a pagan, or not a pagan. Spent some time as a Wiccan, and then felt like that was a game I was playing, so I eventually dropped it.
Yeah, I studied some of
was
the Wicca, but I never joined a group.
See, I think that if I could have found a group of people to interact with, it might have been different. But being alone with it, it just didn't feel like I was doing something.
Yeah, well, let's say I stayed with the general community because, just having the larger community group was nice in a lot of ways, but I never joined any specific tradition or that because, yeah, I never found any of them that, really seemed to have much.
Okay, now I'm going to hear Zero Mustel any minute now. Well, Purple said the magic word, tradition.
Oh, yes. Diana, what's with the name?
You like that, huh?
No, actually, I don't.
It's bad.
Oh, I'll have to see where I can change it eventually. I'm in one of those moods today.
Yeah.
Where is the YouTube page? I know it's there somewhere. Yeah, old fat and ugly over here is preparing dinner, so figure out how those two go together. Wait a minute. What's going on here? I'm looking at my... Oh. For one, it's the wrong YouTube account that I'm looking at. And I still don't know how Amos Yee got subscribed.
Who?
You remember that guy, the Indonesian, who claimed that he was being persecuted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and there was a whole bunch of crap, which may or may not be true about him. A lot of stuff he said that appeared to condone pedophilia and shit like that.
Oh, him.
Yeah, him. I don't know what he's doing on my account. I just never paid that much attention to his videos or anything. Where's switch account? Let's go to the one I normally use. How's that sound? Yay.
Well, switching your account on YouTube's probably not going to make a difference.
Well, no. By switching over to the Lavender Lady account, I get the list over on the left side that I'm actually paying attention to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I wish YouTube. Well, if you ban someone from your channel, doesn't that force an unfollow? Or no?
I believe it does on Twitter.
I know it on Twitter.
So
no, I've never had to ban anyone.
Why not follow suit? Oh well.
Well, that's what I was basically getting at, was that if you've got somebody who's actually subscribed to you and you don't want them to be subscribed to you.
Okay, Diana, Robert X is threatening to sue you for copyright for using that name.
What, old, fat, and ugly?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, sweetie. Let me get on here. There we go.
I have no idea what Robert X looks like, so I don't know if I can argue that point.
I have no idea. As well.
I'm going to try and refresh. We're back in a sec.
Okay.
What? Yeah, so there's the little one.
Yep. Sammy heard her. He perked up.
Okay, so Laura disappeared.
Well, the funny thing, I heard her a couple of minutes ago, and it sounded like, ooh, is that me?
I'm not sure. It sounded kind of like a squeaky Morse code set.
It sounded like, and I don't know that anybody in this chat is going to get this, it sounded like an old line printer.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the dot matrix.
Yeah, you remember the ones that go...
Yep, I had a few of those.
It's still going on.
Let me see if...
yeah, it's not as loud now as it was.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can change something and see if that fixes it. Be right back. Push it away.
Yeah, Robert, I've heard the line enough times. Although offhand, I don't remember which movie it came from.
Over there. Come on. There. Okay, there's there.
Hey, Laura.
Yep. Unfortunately, I still couldn't get the avatar working.
You should be able to just, like, if you look
at the
lower part of the screen under your name, right next to your name, there should be a little button, and you can just edit avatar.
Let's put these in the back.
I don't know if that's while you're actually in the chat or if you have to edit the avatar before you enter the chat.
You can edit it while you're in chat. I just edited mine.
I can't find it. There's nothing here. But then again, I'm using the PC.
Yeah, no. Wait. You should see your name, and then if you hover over it, it says "Remove from Stream." And then you should see your name underneath. Then right next to it on the right should say a little white square.
All right, let me get.
No, that's not showing.
A poll.
Maybe it's
Yeah, I
because
see
I've
what
got.
you mean.
I think I might have bits missing. I've got an
Share
ad
my-
blockers. It
share
could
my
be an ad
screen.
blocker.
Well,
Share my screen, Purple.
you know where the thing is on the bottom to mute your mic there?
Yeah.
It should be
Whoa.
right next to that.
Inception. You see my look. You see my avatar. I mean my mouse work moving right down there.
Yay!
I don't have that.
Oh, weird.
Ah,
There you go.
I see what it was. All I had to
Okay.
do was mute my turn off my
Oh.
camera.
I see. What happens if I do that now?
It flashes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this again.
Yeah, I got my proper avatar now.
There you go.
Took me a long time to make that avatar. Just a little flower.
Hello, Daisy.
One of my favourite chick flicks is You've Got Mail,
Okay.
and in it's got Aunt Daisy's the friendliest flower. I agree.
What? There's no chicken
Oh.
in here. No.
My ears.
Yeah, I guess we're still getting some kind of feedback from Diana.
Oh, scheiße.
Doc's saying it's the same as when Diana
So
was on
viel
Neil's
Scheiße,
show.
es ist voll mit der Scheiße. Okay, then, are you almost done, Coffee?
How long ago was that? Because the last time she was in here, there was no problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Just that's what Doc's saying in the side chat. So, oh, anyway.
Well, I've ordered a new toy.
Okay, kids.
I've ordered a 3D printer.
Oh,
Okay, see, you said toy, and my mind did not go that way.
You don't know about the damn cat.
well, no. That's never the first place it goes.
Okay, where is my headset?
I wish I had access to a 3D printer. I've had ideas for a bunch of stuff if I could manufacture some parts.
Oh my.
Well, you could use
Hello.
shapeways.
Hello.
Is it any better?
No.
No, we're
No,
still
I guess it isn't.
still
So,
having that feedback sound.
Either it is not my phone, or my phone is more powerful than Superman. Here, I'm gonna mute myself and see if it makes a difference. Hang on here. Here we go.
Yeah.
That definitely makes a difference.
Okay, it's me. I just don't know what it is.
Sounds like what are your headphones plugged into? A headphone jack or some other port?
Yeah, the headphone jack on the front panel. Oh, whoa. Wait a minute.
Audio settings. Not that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one.
We're gonna have cat in a tank in a minute.
Yeah, the kitty's after the invisible fish.
Abominable snowman.
Oh,
And see if this is any better.
Not yet.
Now I can barely hear you guys.
Yeah, it hasn't made a difference on this end.
Where's the game?
So I've got another patient coming through in my game. If you want to show it, I can show you what the head crabbedness is.
Oh yeah, cool. Okay.
All right.
Is this any better?
One of my staff is. Oh, they're both being trained.
This is Theme Hospital, but new.
I didn't know. It doesn't look much like a crab to me.
Is it done? Okay, it's done. So they're coming to.
No,
finish
Diana,
bringing-
we're still hearing the feedback there.
Son of a rabid poodle dog.
Whoops.
Well, maybe it'd be worth trying if you could plug the headphones into a different port.
I just did. I
Oh.
plugged it into my Yeti. And let's see, what else do we have? I don't have any other ports.
Now he's gonna go get treatment.
What is this?
I'm watching.
Those are the
A little
two
harder
only.
to yank that one off, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Is
the other
that
one
one
just
of those
screws out.
Is that one of those games from Greystone Plays?
Actually, I think that's exactly where I learned about it from.
Okay.
Was Gray's doing one where he tormented the people by making them stand in really, really long lines.
Oh, that one! Damn it, I gotta figure out what to do here.
I like watching his videos sometimes because they're mildly sadistic.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
really
generally,
like
I don't game much, so I don't tend to watch the gaming videos.
There's a game, what is it called? Disassembler 3D or some shit like that.
The Sims.
Not The Sims. No, this is where you get things like cell phones or airplanes or submarines, and you disassemble them.
Interesting.
And he's always talking about, okay, this little chunklet here, and let's take this, and this is all sadness over here. And it's like, yeah. He's a very, very interesting person.
Oh, somebody died, and now they're a ghost.
Yeah.
Diana, could it have anything to do with the proximity of your phone to the computer?
I just put both of my phones on the other end of the apartment.
Okay.
I put them in the library because that was the first thought I had because I got something from.
Yeah, because it's some kind of a feedback signal.
Trying to think here. What else do I have to do? Because I guess
When was the last time you rebooted your computer, just out of curiosity?
about an hour ago.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Here's another thought for you. Do you have a microphone on your headset?
No,
All right, okay.
there's nothing to know of. It doesn't show up on my sound panel. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
I mean, I have this little switch. I think it just mutes the headset. Hang on.
I suppose in order to check whether it did or not, someone needs
Yeah.
to be doing the talking while you're testing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say something. Did you hear me?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this switch didn't do anything about that.
You know, and we're still hearing the feedback, regardless of the switch there.
Entonces, si te aguanta, pues con la gravedad que hay de respuesta. Merde, Scheiße. Chlovna.
Oh, what about the microphone? Is there a different port for that? because of course the headset wouldn't make a difference, but the microphone is the bit that we're hearing things from.
I'll take a shot at it. There are a couple things I can switch around. See what happens. Give me a minute. At least I can get to the back lane. All right. So. Get over here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now.
Yeah, Doc was saying it was Steve Tiger's after party they heard it on.
Heard what on?
Diana's feedback.
Oh,
That's interesting. And yet the mic and my speakers came on. Oh, that's right. I was running the speakers through the mic.
Okay, Diana, whatever you did made a difference.
Yeah.
I'm
Stop.
not hearing it now.
I just pulled the mic out of the loop. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we can hear you talking, and I don't hear the feedback.
Okay, so hang on. Let's see what I'm using. I must be using one of the what the hell's the word for it? One of the vid cams as the source here. Where is this?
Well, it
Okay,
sounds
so
fine if
here's
you can hear us
sound.
okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so that's on digital input. There's the microphony. I don't know if that makes a change. Is it working at all?
Yeah, everything sounds fine now.
Okay, I went to an analog input. Let me try. Maybe I wasn't looking at the appropriate item here. Let me try over here, and we are going to stick this into this thing. Yeah, tab A into slot B. All right. Okay, now there's there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change back to the Yeti in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Anything?
No,
Nope,
sounds good.
that's good. Yep, no feedback.
Okay, well, wait a minute. I'm coming through my. I'm not hearing anything now. Hey, you, out of there. There you go.
Hey, Hans.
Okay, let's move this over here. Check the output.
Everything seems okay.
I'm not hearing anything.
Can you hear us now?
Why is this being not nice at me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay, I'm hearing something.
But can you
We
hear us
hear
now?
you fine.
I had to do some playing around. I always have to do some playing around. How are things sounding right now?
They sound fine.
Sounds good.
Okay, so there may have been a screwed up setting that I didn't notice on the microphone. So maybe that'll do it. Let's see how that works. So let's fly
That's really
with
loud.
that configuration. Okay, we can fix that. Input volume here. Okay, this ought to be a little quieter, right? Any better?
You're
Low.
good.
Am I good?
Yep.
Okay, then. We're going to fly. Yeah, we're going to fly with that. Gear up. Yeah, I just reassembled this whole thing last night, so I may have screwed up one or two things on the way. I rotated the studio through pi over 2. Um, it was facing my closet. Now it's facing the window where Sylvia climbs the curtains all the time.
Ah,
And I'm hoping that that will make things a little easier on me with doing stuff and things. I mean, it's already eliminated a couple of cables and things, so that's not a bad thing. See if things work a little bit better and stuff.
yeah, one important note is I'm going to miss both of my broadcasts next week.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, because Wednesday I'll be packing the truck and Thursday we'll be driving. And while I'll certainly be there by midnight on Thursday, I don't know if we'll have internet service then.
I'm guessing that you won't. You're getting there when?
On the 28th.
On the
night of
28th.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that you won't have internet service until maybe the end of the first week of March. I mean, that's how it went with me.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. And
Mhm.
one of the other questions is going to be whether or not we're going to be able to share the internet like we're doing here.
Yeah, that's. I don't think you're going to be able to run a cable down the hall and up the stairs, right?
No, it'll have to be a wireless. And here it wasn't a problem because we're,
Yeah, just
apartments right next to each other. But
drill a hole through the wall and you're home.
yeah, there's going to
What I
be
would
different
suggest.
floors and several apartments between us. So I don't know how that's going to work. If there's going to
Boy,
be a good signal, or
I don't know.
if we're going to have something like if somebody in one of the apartments in between turns something on, if that's going to screw the signal up or what.
Okay, my first guess is that latter case will be the case. You can give it a try, see how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd
Yeah,
suggest giving it a try, and
Yeah,
then
we're gonna have to try it just because, anything that'll keep the budget down.
yep, yeah, because you're talking. Well, I'm paying $95 a month just for an internet connection.
Americans get charged so much.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it's like crazy.
It's a utility for you guys, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
a government utility.
No, it's not government. There's no such thing. Water, gas, electric, all private companies. Phone, etc.
Yeah, in the U.S. to get unlimited internet, yeah, $100 a month is pretty common.
I mean,
Yeah, and that's
that's
not even with television riding along on its back. Where I have you could get the cable television on the same wire, but were I to get that, I'd be paying close to $200. For anything decent.
Yeah, Robert, we're gonna try it with a Wi-Fi router.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you what it's like here. With my router, I lose signal in the bedroom. I don't know if it's wiring or piping or whatever in the walls, but by the time I get into the bedroom, the signal is gone, and you know what it looks like here.
Yeah.
So,
well, something Robert did mention. It might help if you try switching the router to a different channel.
Okay.
Especially if you're in an apartment building, because if several people have routers that are all on the same default channel.
I couldn't tell you for certain. I couldn't tell you with absolute certainty. But given the financial state of most of the people here, I'm guessing that I'm the only one with a Wi-Fi router.
Ah,
I'm guessing that everybody else has smartphones.
I've got a Wi-Fi router.
Me too.
yeah. Well, that's what we
Yeah, but
got here too.
you don't live in this building.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that
Yeah.
kind of. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
missed half of that.
no. I was not clear. No, this is a poor neighborhood. As poor as I am probably better off than I would say 75% of the people here.
Well, that's our next project after we get moved in, is to get you moved to where we can have you nearby. Just so at least if something happens, we can drive over to check on you.
So what I wouldn't mind, and of course I know it'll never happen, were I to suddenly have 5 million subscribers, 1 million views of every one of my videos, an income of, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000 a month, I'd be all set.
Yeah, hands, to get 100 megabit upload in the US, you basically have to be on a commercial service that would probably be 1,000 a month.
Well, I actually had 150 synchronous, okay, 150 up and 150 down through Verizon for about 100 a month.
Really?
At the other place I lived in, the one before this. The problem when I came here, there was no Verizon service here yet. So I had to go with Comcast because they were the only other option. There is Verizon now, but I'm kind of, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Balking or whatever. I'm not running to use it because the wiring situation is all crazy. They
Yeah.
put the terminal in my heating and cooling closet, and no easy way to get from there to here.
Mhm.
So I don't know what they're expecting if I would have to set up in the library, or that can't happen. There's not enough room in there, unless I moved the library into the current studio.
Yeah. Well, just usually you get like you might, if you're lucky, get 100 download, but even if you're getting 100 down, you're usually not getting more than 20 up.
I had FiOS, and they seemed to be synchronous.
Hmm.
They were usually
A
they were
lot of
usually
them will claim to be, but the actual performance generally doesn't get anywhere near what they claim.
I might have been a little slower than they claimed, but where was I going with this?
Well, you're saying about possibly switching, but that it would be a hassle with the way they wire
Yeah,
it in.
I don't know. It's I'd have to move the library into the current studio, and trying to get to the kitchen then would be all kinds of fun. Um, I'm kind of not tripping over myself to get the Verizon, but we'll see.
Yeah.
At least I don't have the television. Let me look here. I think the Comcast Television Plus Internet is an introductory rate of about 150. Let me look.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and this is the wonderful thing they love to do. They love to, tell you all about that lovely introductory rate. and you find out that you sign up with the thing for a year, and there's a 2 or 3 year contract at 2 or 3 times what you're paying.
Yeah. That's generally the problem, that they don't want to tell you how much it's going to be after that initial.
And I have gone as far when they used to call me and say, how many televisions do you have? None. What? What? It really takes them for a loop there. I would ask them, okay, this is your introductory rate. What is the rate when the introductory period is over? Silence. They would absolutely refuse. Or if there is no silence, they would talk around it, and the way an apologist does. And I don't like that at all. Well, tell me how much the bananas are going to cost, or I won't buy them.
Right.
Yep.
And besides, I don't care about television. I really don't.
I don't either.
No, me neither.
There's a few shows that I've been like kind of curious about and wishing that I could watch them, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, there are a couple. I mean, Kate talks about the Orville, which sounds interesting.
It is good. I have enjoyed that.
Okay. I mean, there's one I wouldn't mind looking at. And I've seen the local stuff. There's a public broadcast channel here. It comes over the air, so I wouldn't have to get anything through Comcast, but I'd have to buy a television. They've got some decent stuff, but I mean, a couple $100 for a television I could spend somewhere else, like dinner. Let me look. Okay, wait a minute. Shop Xfinity services. Let's see if that does me any good. Oh, for the love of Saint Gulick. Moving? No, I'm not moving. I guess I have to sign in before they'll tell me anything, assholes. Come on, come on. Ah, here we go. Oh, man. Okay. Standard double play, which is what they are calling the internet plus the television. $69.99 per month, and the line below it reads $89.99 per month for months 13 through 24 with 2-year agreement. Okay, what I want to know then is what month 25 costs.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what they never want to tell you.
And they're also not telling you what you're getting. I mean, for this $69.99 a month is all you're getting, WGOD and the shopping channels? Because I've had that one. Years ago, I had a subscription to the Major League Baseball over the television. I had to have DirecTV. It was the particular company involved. And then subscribe to Major League Baseball on top of that. So for, I think it was $35 or $40 a month, all you got was the home shopping channels and the WGOD. And I think you might have got the local channels.
What's WGOD?
The religious channels.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how do you identify your channels? Is it BBC One, BBC Four, that sort of thing? Is that it?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, we have digital channels, so we have quite a lot of different channels, which come from different companies. So we have Freeview, which
Okay.
is general stuff, and then you've got things like Netflix where you've got to subscribe.
Okay, here in the States, you will have a 3 or 4 letter channel identifier.
I've noticed it with radio.
It works the same. It works the same way with television. Yeah, and east of the Mississippi, the initial letter is W. West of the Mississippi, the initial letter is K. But here, east of the Mississippi, you've got a couple exceptions. One of the television stations here in Pittsburgh, because it is so old, is still KDKA. And when the hell was that identifier changed? It was maybe in the 30s or something like that. Okay, here we go. I think I have something. Let's look this up because I'm going to want. Okay. It seems that whenever you switch on the radio for your morning commute, all you hear is "Time to wake up with K98.3" or WBLS. We'll be right back after this commercial break. If you listen closely, you'll notice that they all have something in common. The vast majority of radio stations start with the letter K or W. Now, what I want, in 1912, the United States were given the initial letters of W, K, N, and A. N and A were given to military stations, but K and W were assigned out for commercial use. What I want to know is what I'm thinking then is maybe it was 1912 or it was split either side of the Mississippi River, because KDKA was there for a long time before 1912. That might do it. And then there were already stations operating. They just left those alone because you've got KYW in Philadelphia. Trying to think if there are any others. And then, when I lived in Cleveland, I used to tune into CKLW because Canadian stations started with C.
Right.
And what I understand from some Californian friends is that Mexican stations have an initial letter of X.
Yeah.
Let me see these.
That sounds criminal to me. I mean, I'm sure that some of them are good people, but sorry.
Okay, I'm looking at this Agfu over here and the deals. Okay, the one for $70 a month has 125 channels. The one for $80 a month has 210. The one for $100 a month is 219. And then keep in mind that that's only the first 2 years. Well, it's $119 a month in a month's 13 to 24, and then they will never ever tell you what month 25 costs you. And by the way, that does not include the setup cost.
Yeah.
But like I say, I don't give a dead rat's arse about television, really. So I don't need it. And as soon as someone is giving me this shit, Lee, you got to have television. You got to have my ears just turn off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they try to force you into the bundle packages because,
Well,
works out better for them.
it's even for other civilians. There was a friend of mine who would always be giving me a hard time.
You have to have television so we have something to talk about.
It's like, Peggy, don't you read? I mean, really? Well, no, she doesn't actually, but that's beside the point. Oh my.
Not a lot of people do anymore.
Yeah, and it's a lost art. I mean, I don't read as much as I used to. I used to be, I would be constantly in a book when I was a child, when I was a girl. And yeah, I'm getting accustomed to saying that because I know everybody thought I was a boy, but that's beside the point. I don't read as much as I used to. And it's not that I don't have the time. Oh well.
I get what you mean.
I mean, I wish I didn't have the time to read. God damn it, I was in tears earlier today. I miss working for a living. I really do.
Oh, don't cry.
I've been out of the market since 1987. It's a long time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's 33 years out of the workforce. And I'm only 62. So that's over half my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on the partial disability, but I was saying that, I can do about half time.
Yeah, it's not that I haven't tried. I went back to school looking at getting a doctorate. Instead, I ended up in the booby hatch again.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Sammy. I didn't see you come in there.
Remember Sammy
Sammy
Jenkins? Do I know you? Have I seen you somewhere before?
He's been in a lot of the chats recently.
I am subscribed, so I have seen him somewhere. Okay. Hi.
He's been pretty much in almost all of the chats that I get into.
I have to get into more of the chats. I know. I just spend most of my time with the blanket pulled over my head, sleeping all fucking day. I mean, I still haven't made punch key because I've been, well, when I haven't been turning this arrangement around, 90 degrees, I've been, asleep, what the fuck. So I guess tomorrow I have to see if I can do the punch key, get that done because I want that done before Ash Wednesday.
Ah. Yeah, well, that's coming up quick.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Ash Wednesday 2020 is the 26th. Yeah, so it is this coming Wednesday.
I've got my own anniversary coming on on Monday.
What, a coming out anniversary?
I've already had that one. No, this is my change of name anniversary.
Oh, yay! Yay.
Yep, that's Monday. So I'm going to go and have a dinner with my friend who helped me change my name.
Yay!
And I'm sure you'll recognize how big changing your name is.
Oh, yeah. And I understand, is it a little less of a deal in the UK than it is here? You didn't need a barrister or anything, did you?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Doing the action is easy. Getting hormones is hard.
Okay, then. Well, I had...
In America, it would appear that the rigmarole of changing your name is a pain in the neck, but getting hormones is easy.
Yeah, it only took me about 6 months to get the hormones.
Yeah, I've already waited a year, over a year now. In fact, I was referred at the end of January last year, and it's going to be May, June, maybe even July before I expect to get seen.
Oh my!
And that's just the first appointment.
Now, is that just for hormones, or is that for everything under the NHS?
Oh, no, that's to see a nurse who will ask me some questions, and then I'll wait on another waiting, on the next part of the waiting list for who knows how long. Could be a year, could be a year and a half. And then I'll see a nurse. And then when they think I'm ready, then they'll let me see the gender psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever they are.
When they think you're ready.
Yeah, when the nurse thinks I'm ready. As if I don't already know this. Oh, and when I get seen by the gender psychiatrist, they will tell me something I've always known about my life.
Now, this is really interesting because the way I went through it, I saw a gender specialist in order to determine whether or not we both thought I was ready.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that somehow you have to know you're ready before you see the gender specialist. What the fuck, man?
Well, no, I've not got to see whether I'm ready. They've got to tell me whether I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I could understand. Okay, I can understand. Let's try this again. I can understand you making the case to them, saying, I'm ready, and this is why I think I'm ready. But I don't get that whole thing about them stepping forward and saying, okay, we don't think you're ready, or we think you're ready. What are they basing it on?
I don't even know.
I mean, to me, it sounds like a roll of the dice.
It is. This is the care pathway from the the general identity clinic that I'm assigned to, which is Leeds. So the initial screening, which is the screening call, which gets rid of any time wasters. Oh, you're not really sure about it? Okay, well, have a think about it, and when you're a bit more sure, then ask to be referred again. Come back to us then. So the first assessment with a lead professional, which is a nurse, is 29 to 30 months for the first appointment. That's for someone joining now. When I joined, it was only 18 months. And then,
so we've got a little bit of a traffic backup here.
Yeah. So it can take a couple of appointments for the first part. And then the end of assessment, which is when you get the medical opinion and diagnosis, that's another 16 to 18 months after the first assessment.
Now, what I was wondering earlier, is this the way it is for everything? I mean, if you have appendicitis, is it going to be a year before?
Oh, no. Yeah, no, that's like within days. You got that horrible howling noise again coming again though.
Yep.
Son of a.
Yeah, just started up
I
again.
heard it. I just heard it. Get over here. God, it's continuous. Okay, I'm gonna do something here.
Well, it was doing so well
this.
for a while there.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go. Fine now. Fine now.
Yep, now it's
I
gone.
switched it. It's the Yeti. It's definitely because I switched to one of my other microphones and everything's fine. Damn, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah. So once I've got the diagnosis, yes, you've got gender dysphoria, because I don't already know this apparently.
No.
Then I get to see the hormone. Get to go to the hormone clinic, which is 14 to 16 months after diagnosis. So basically, it's going to take about 4 years for me to get through the whole process and get to hormones in my hands.
Okay, and now, if you'll excuse the expression, you're no kid, so every day counts.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be.
You're not as old as I am, but you're older
I'll be
than
50.
a lot of people. Oh, I thought you were younger than that. I thought you were somewhere in your mid-40s. Okay.
Well, I am. I am in my mid-40s. That's the problem.
Oh, I thought I heard you say that you're 50. Okay.
No, no. I will be 50 by the time I get really well sorted.
Okay. My mistake there. Okay. Now, not to sound like I'm horrible or anything, but that's how old I was.
Mm.
I began my transition at the age of 52, and let me tell you, it's not fun because you're looking and there's so much you miss out.
Yeah.
I mean, even as far as I understand it, the older you are when you start the hormones, the less effective they are.
I hope not.
Well, I don't know which one it was for me because I'm still a carpenter's dream. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if things would have been different had I been able to start at 22, but I'll never know.
Mm. I do wish I had a time traveling machine.
Well, I would use the time traveling machine for something a little bit different had I had one, or were I to have one.
You know, it's funny. When I was on Neil's show, we actually did touch on that whole idea very briefly of, if you got what you wanted, you'd be a completely different person than you are now. And
Yep.
do you think it would be worth it to be a completely different person? Like maybe you never would have made some of the friends that you've made.
Mm-hmm.
Things like
And
that.
then there's the other thought I've had. What guarantee is there, and I will already tell you there's none, that things would be any better were you able to change something back then?
Hmm.
They could easily be the same or worse. So really the only, as I look back on it, the only change that would do me any good would be to go back to about December 1956 or so and convince that 23-year-old student nurse to go to New York and have an abortion.
Yeah, well.
In other words, I wouldn't exist.
I prefer existing myself. I mean, as crappy as it can be.
Well, here's the point. Were the fetus that became me to have been aborted in late 1956, I wouldn't know it.
Well, true. I think I still prefer living.
I think that starts getting into a lot of questions about souls.
I don't believe in souls, so
Oh, please. The only souls I have are on my shoes.
I don't know though. James Brown, he'd have had a lot of soul.
You went there.
And so you should with an opportunity like that.
You know that I would now. So
Yeah, that
good.
gets into a whole long question still of just, what would the world be like without you type things.
Yeah, and the question is not answered by It's a Wonderful Life, okay? No, that doesn't provide any answers.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of errors in that. You can't change one thing in the timeline. Has too many cascading effects.
This is interesting. I'm looking.
That's really the main reason I gave up on my second novel, because it involved time travelers and started getting into that stuff, and it got way too complicated. So I will stick to something simpler like shape-shifting aliens.
Hey, there we go. Oh, this is interesting. A couple things a little different than I remember. Well, when I looked up the date for Ash Wednesday, there was a thing, what do you say when you receive ashes on Ash Wednesday? This is one of those little questions that comes up on the Google page, right? And we have, when the eighth graders at All Saints Catholic School put the ashes on your foreheads. Now, that's one thing. It used to be the guy in the frock that did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder when that changed. And there are two things they can say, the priest said. One is, remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return. Well, that's not what we were told. We were told, remember, man, that you are dust, and to dust you will return. You will return. So there's a little political correctness going on there. And then the second is turn away from sin and be faithful to the gospel. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't remember it that well, but when I was in the Catholic Church as a child, I know it was like the junior priest that was always the one to do it. I don't know what we were supposed to say.
We said nothing. We just stood there and had our foreheads made dirty, and then we left.
Yeah, I never understood what that ritual was supposed to be about.
Oh, man, I used to know. I think that it's a reminder that you're eventually going to die. That whole remember, man, you were dust. Let's see, what is Ash Wednesday about? In the Roman Catholic Church, Ash Wednesday is observed by fasting, abstinence from meat, and repentance, a day of contemplating one's transgressions. Oh, man, I looked at the Ash Wednesday entry in the Font of All Knowledge, and nobody ever got a cross that clearly marked on their foreheads, okay? It looked like a smudge.
No, that's basically what it was. It's just the priest was dragging his finger through the stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole bunch of garbage.
Maybe to make it look right for the photo. They used a Sharpie marker.
Yeah, maybe. Because 3 photos here that the crosses are very, very clearly marked. Where the stuff I remember was just a circular blob. Oh well. They can all stuff it.
Yep.
There is a strong biblical base for fasting, particularly during the 40 days of Lent leading to the celebration of Easter. Jesus, as part of his spiritual preparation, oh please, went into the wilderness and fasted 40 days and 40 nights according to the Gospels. And that reference is number 22. What does the United Methodist Church say about fasting? Excuse me, guys, but there is no biblical basis for the crap that goes on for Ash Wednesday. Okay? None.
And like I said, I didn't even know what was supposed to be about, so I didn't know if there was any basis for it.
Well, all I know is the Vatican II stuff. I couldn't even tell you what pre-Vatican II was like because, let me see, the whole Vatican II stuff was instituted in 1965,
Yep.
and I was 8 years old. So I very likely was not paying any attention to the stuff that was going on. So I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I remember the guy in the dress facing away from the audience. I do remember that. And I do remember the gibberish going on in Latin. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, well, see, I was born in '64, but I still remember in the Catholic Church at least part of the service being conducted in Latin.
Yeah. When they made the change, I do remember that you had Latin and English, or Latin and the vernacular more properly, because I was in the
Yep.
States, it was English, where you would, France, it would be French, that sort of thing. They were interleaved for a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, it must have been like a good 10 years for me to remember it.
I cannot remember when they made the full change to the vernacular in the parish I was forced into.
Yeah, Robert.
What we got? What does Robert have to say?
Singing,
Do I,
do you remember?
do I remember? Oh, yeah.
Although actually the reference I remember mostly is Tom Lear's The Vatican Rag.
Yeah, there you are.
He tried to explain the Vatican II.
Do the Vatican, do the Vatican, do the Vatican right. Oh, let me see if I can find it. Oh, man.
Step in line in that processional, step into that small confessional. There, the guy who's got religion will tell you if your sin's original.
Oh, my. Okay, so here's the performance in Copenhagen in 1967. Copy the link address and go over here and put it over there. Yay! Oh, it's a blast. It really is.
I had the whole box set of the remains of Tom Lear burned into my computer at one time. I don't know if I still have all of it.
Oh my. Okay, I'm looking at this. So 10 minutes ago, we have Dr. Guyman uploaded. Dr. Guyman plays eatorDie.io. And then the one before that is some character I've never heard of. It says Purple Rhymes with Orange is live. Countdown to Minnesota, midnight, mid-America. Who the fuck is that?
I don't
Now,
know. What kind of idiot would be doing a live stream at midnight?
yeah, I know.
Yourself, it's sort of 7:41 here in the morning.
Are you just
Up
keeping
early,
it?
yes.
Are you keeping it flying until Sunday, or are you starting it on Saturday again?
Well, I had hoped to keep it going all through Saturday night to Sunday morning, but having trouble finding people to fill the late night slots. So probably going to be off for a couple of hours during the night, but picking it up again Sunday morning. Actually, Dick Dawson was going to pick it up at 9 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours before yours starts.
Okay, then.
But yeah, it looks like we're going to basically wind up going off the air probably for about 7 or 8 hours in between.
Okay, I still need to put the schedule up there. I've got the thumbnail made and everything. Just to do that. We can do that. We can get it done. Ooh, excuse me.
Robert X, to answer your question, purple's the one wearing the horns, and orange is the one with horns on his head. Yeah, let me see if I can bring that up. Here's your bog. There we go. Do. That's not the one I want. Close, but not quite. There we go. There's the one I was looking for.
Let's see if I can.
This is hard. I'm playing a game of my own. Ever heard a game called Planet Coaster?
Do you build roller coasters?
You can.
There you go, Robert. So purple's the Viking, orange is the Dino.
Because I had a game called Roller Coaster Typhoon, and I wondered, or no, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Tycoon.
That's it. Yeah, and I didn't know if your Planet Coaster was like that or not. God, that was a long time ago that I had that.
Yeah, no, this is a more modern one. It's a few years ago.
Yeah, Mom NATO was referring to me as Orange, just because the way my name came up in the Google Hangout.
Тебе трасто велко паштитајака. Не бето беројшиста фолклорла кеди бентие. No, I don't have the slightest idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I never played the Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It was an interesting game. I mean, it got boring rather quickly, but it wasn't all that bad, really. It was a way to kill time.
Hmm.
Now you have me thinking, because one I haven't played in quite a while, maybe a couple of years, is Kerbal Space Program. And I'm reasonably sure there have been a couple of new versions since I last played.
I've seen a couple of people playing with that lately.
I guess there's an entirely reworked version coming out. Or maybe it's already out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know that they were playing with it on MathPig's stream at one point, and Dapper Dino was using it.
No, was it the original Kerbal Space Program, or was it Kerbal Space Program 2?
I'm sure it was probably a newer version. They just basically they were using it to explain things about orbital mechanics.
Oh yeah, it's a shitload of fun, really. Now the original Kerbal Space Program left a little bit to be desired with the hardware, but once you got used to it, it wasn't too bad. What do we have here? We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let me look.
So, Purple.
Yeah.
Remember, I said that one of the conditions that these guides suffered from was called mock star.
Oh, you got another one? Should I bring this up?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I just lost him.
Hey, don't do that. Those are valuable.
Oh, come here. He won't stop walking around. But tell me that guy in the yellow isn't supposed to be Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where
Oh, here we go.
the one that had his hands at his waist.
Yep.
So you can see the yellow. Let me see if
Yeah, he's in the corner right now.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, I see. Yeah, now you got a bunch of them. There were at least 3 of them in one frame there.
Yeah. There's a bunch of silly different.
Okay, I've finally done it. What was that?
What's that?
I was just trying to audio test. Hang on a sec.
Curious.
I wonder how Sammy can take to the new place.
Okay. So let me screen share mine. That one. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, that's my game.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Bring it up where
All I
can
see is your flower.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
I've created a big park. And the bit I've been doing just now was trying to get all this twisty, windy stuff, so that the coaster is kind of going through the, going underneath and around it, which I think is kind of fun.
Yep.
And I've done this in other places as well, so it makes it really interesting
Yeah.
and exciting ride as well.
Well, they finally started producing roller coaster track for Lego sets.
Oh,
That was a while
is it,
ago.
I mean, is it functional?
Oh yeah,
Hey, I like it.
yeah. Just so
Right here.
far, it hasn't
There
been
you go.
in that many sets, so it's
Here's an example of one of the rides. And I've got like I say, got it twisting around places and just waiting for it to start off.
I have not ridden a roller coaster in a long time.
Is he going? Or we're going to wait for another one.
When was the last time I was aboard a roller coaster? Melody and I were still together, and we split up.
Here we go.
Jesus Christ, 11 years ago.
Here we go. And you can look around.
I think I've seen somebody playing with this on YouTube as well.
Now,
These are crash test dummies.
can you ride it without engaging the bar?
Like I say, I like the way I make it go through holes and things.
Curious.
Yeah, once I've got the core of it, then I'll stick some scenery in there. And we're done.
Oh, okay. So Flight Simulator 10, the P51D is an additional download. Okay. Not that I really have the time for that.
This is a water one.
just interrupt you for a minute here. Here's a quick one.
No problem.
There's one of the new Lego roller coaster sets.
Oh yeah.
Kind of cute.
Yeah. So they've actually made the track decent, and there's even one of them that's got an option for motorizing it.
There you go. And you can even change the people where you are. Even the splash isn't terrible.
No, not.
No,
That's
there's the
interesting.
The unfortunate thing is the local amusement park closed their water slide, their into the water roller coaster, to make room for something else. So I don't know where the closest park is to get one of those anymore.
Okay, here we go. We're at the start now. This is an old-fashioned wooden one.
Not a fan of. Well, I'm not a fan of roller coasters to begin with, but
No, I don't like roller coasters.
Now, I wouldn't necessarily call a wooden roller coaster old fashioned simply because it was wooden. There's a park in Erie, Pennsylvania. Trying to remember what the name of the park is. Wildwood. I'll have to look it up. That actually built a wooden roller coaster the year before Melody and I went there. We went there specifically for the wooden roller coaster. Not a bad little thing, actually.
Well,
Yeah,
bear in
it was-
mind that old doesn't mean, old-fashioned doesn't mean outdated.
Mhm.
well, all I could say is that the last wooden roller coaster that I rode on wobbled so much that I felt like my brains were scrambled.
Uh,
Like I
Well,
couldn't
they-
enjoy the fact that I was going up and down because I was going left and right too much.
Yeah, the wooden roller coasters, by their design, are a bit more shaky than the steel coasters are. Um, yeah, here in Waldemere. That's the name of the park, Waldemere. Now the neighborhood amusement park here in the Pittsburgh area has two old roller coasters. Three that were built in the 20s.
mm.
And one of them, the Jackrabbit, is really amazing. I don't know if it's the only one left, or if it isn't the only one left, it's probably one of three that has a split level hill, if you want to call it that. You go up the hill, then you come down, level out, and immediately go down again. And it's really wonderful. You actually feel yourself coming out of your seat. You do need the safety bar on that one.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd find yourself flying out of the car. And then there's a racing coaster, which is a bunch of shit fun. I love it. And then there is the Thunderbolt, which used to be the Pippin. And that's an interesting coaster in and of itself because the first hill is actually a gravity hill. You're out of the station and you go down into the valley before you go up on the chain lift.
Mm.
And it is, actually, it wasn't. It was the newer coaster, the Steel Phantom at the time, was built around the Thunderbolt in such a way that the Steel Phantom track is doing a loop and the Thunderbolt track is going through that loop. So if you
Right.
get the timing just right, you're going through and a Steel Phantom car is over your head. As I say, it's been at least 11 years since I've
And
been.
somebody probably tried to slap hands and got their arm ripped off.
No, you can't. There's not enough reach.
Yeah, I'm sure that they would have made sure that there wasn't.
Now, on the racing coaster, everybody slaps hands. I mean, if you don't slap hands, they look at you like you're from another planet. I
As though
forget.
there's something wrong with that.
There you go. The thing, it's been so long since I've been there, I forget which side you have to enter.
I keep forgetting how specious Terrans are.
Yeah. But no, you you have the two cars, and if you enter the wrong side, you're on the outside when it comes time to slap hands, and that's very disappointing.
Are we talking high five here?
Yeah, as you're going through, you just do the with the person in the next car, the next track over.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a tradition. It's been going for something on the order of 80 years.
I knew there were some that did that. I've seen them in movies.
It's a gentle roller coaster. I mean, well, all three of the wooden roller coasters are what I would call gentle.
Yeah.
They're nothing like, for example, well, I don't know what they're calling it anymore. They've modified it twice. So when they built it, it was called the Steel Phantom. What it's called now, I don't know. That thing, oh Lord, you'll pull 6 Gs in that damn thing.
Yeah, well, it's back in the 80s, the Six Flags in Illinois had the American Eagle, which at the time they claimed was the biggest wooden roller coaster in the world. I don't know if it was the biggest or the tallest, something like that.
Do you know what I love? Sometimes I love Americans with the sort of, I don't know, made up statistics.
Yeah.
I've seen them in NFL stuff, and it's like, this. Oh gosh, this wide receiver has the most catches on a Monday night in January.
Oh yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they have to do all this now because, of course, they have all the tie-ins with the fantasy games and all this shit. So they have to make up the statistics so the players have something to pick on and all this other shit. And it's like, oh, please, don't even.
Well, even before that, some of the skyscrapers that they would put taller antennas on them just to make sure they were the tallest building in the city.
Yep. Didn't the Sears Tower do that at least once?
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Well, because technically, as it was designed, the John Hancock building would have technically been taller than the Sears Tower. So they had to extend the antenna to make sure it was taller than the John Hancock building.
I forget. What are they calling the Sears Tower now?
Oh, who knows? Everybody still calls it the Sears Tower.
Okay. Yeah, because I know it's changed hands at least twice since first time I was in Chicago in 17, and the time before that was 87.
What, 1917?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. I'm going off your little your username for this.
There you go. No, when I went to view the total solar eclipse in southern Illinois, I stopped in Chicago for 3 days because I hadn't been there in what? Well, the time before was 87, so it was 30 years, something like that. And God, when I went to Chicago, I found out how much I missed it.
Yeah.
I do not like large cities. I love Chicago. Go figure.
This one is mostly in the dark. I wonder what it's going to be like. When are they going to start it? It should be being tested. Let's just make sure.
Well, there was I don't know if it's still there or what. There was at the neighborhood amusement park a wild mouse that was totally enclosed. And they ran this thing in the dark.
Right.
So they say it's an interesting view and everything. I couldn't tell you because it throws you around so much that I can't wear my glasses and therefore I can't see.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's something I've never considered. I want to see how this looks because, like I say, I made it go in and out of the ground, mostly underground. Oh, goes up a bit then. Oh, it's not too bad. I was expecting it to be too dark, you know.
Yeah, just patches.
Well,
Oh, that looks pretty
Oh, it
interesting.
goes around twice. Oh no, it doesn't.
what, are you going backward now?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's how it gets to the end
Oh, I see what's going on.
because it starts off going slowly up like this. It's a pretty short ride.
I don't know. Sometimes I think about going to that amusement park. It's one of the few neighborhood amusement parks I can name anymore, but at the price they want, I'm not sure I can justify it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They want, well, the regular price is close to $50 for a day, for 1 day's visit. Now I'm what they call a senior, so I get a discount, but I cannot remember how much.
Google it.
I am.
Well, Disneyland has finally hit the mark of being $200 a day.
Yet another reason I won't be going anytime soon. God damn.
Yeah,
How much?
$200 for a 1 day pass at Disneyland in Florida.
Okay, now we are talking about preseason prices here. So they've got an early bird fun day. I guess that's their preseason discount. Oh, save 17 off the gate price when you buy online now. So it's close to 60 for a day pass for a regular person. So senior fun day is about 30.
Hmm.
And a senior is somebody 55 years of age or older. I passed that a while back.
That's kind of bothersome that I'm nearly 10 years away from it. I'm less than 10 years away from that.
It's really weird the way things are done around here. The age to be a senior varies a great deal. To get a senior bus pass, I have to be 65. But to go to the amusement park, I only have to be 55.
Yeah.
And then they have super senior fun day for
So for that one, you have to wear a cape.
pretty much. Yeah, it's $17, 70 plus years of age. And of course, they are counting on you not riding any of the rides.
Yeah.
My father-in-law would have put the lie to that. Oh, every time he came out to see us.
Yeah.
I call it, Melody and I were never officially married, but I do call him my father-in-law because it felt like Melody and I were married.
Yeah.
I dearly
Oh,
love
yeah.
I dearly love John. I really did. I don't know if he's still alive, to tell you the truth. He'd be 90 right now.
I've heard you mention Melody several times today, but I've never heard you discuss it previously.
Yes, you have. I was calling her my ex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we split up in 2009.
Right.
Yeah.
I must
I
admit
never
that is
cared for
that.
roller coasters.
Mm.
And that was how it happened that after going to prom, we wound up trading dates. Because
Ooh.
my
Okay,
date liked
so
roller coasters and I didn't. And the other couple we were there with, that he wanted to go on the roller coasters and she wasn't interested.
you put a
So they
lie
wound
to
up
my
going on the
thing.
roller coasters and we wound up sitting and talking. And yeah, by the end of the day, we had traded dates and no one seemed to care.
Now, for a minute there, I was waiting where you had a couple hetero couples going, and then you traded such that you had a couple single sex couples. But no, oh well.
Yeah, because of course, as soon as he said traded couples, my mind completely went that way.
Well, I would have gone there, but I don't think any of the other ones would have.
Ah.
No, see, my problem was I was bisexual before anyone got around to explaining to me that you were expected to choose one or the other.
Okay, and then by that time it's like, that's ruined.
Yeah, yeah. By the time anybody got around to having the talk with me, I'd already had experience with both, so
Okay.
kind of too late.
All dark.
I don't know. I'm looking at this, and
Okay, I'm satisfied with that now.
$30 for the day is still kind of dear.
I can understand that. On my budget, it would be.
Mm-hmm. And especially since I'm trying to maintain an austerity budget at least this year. Because the 30 for a day at Kennywood would be just a little bit less than a ball game. I can do a baseball game for about 50.
Mm-hmm.
I hear
Yeah, see, I
Okay.
can't see why anybody would pay that much to go to a sporting event, but
Well, I love baseball. I guess that's
yeah.
basically the way it works. I mean, the ticket in is, say, about 30, and then I budget 20 for food,
Mm-hmm.
and it usually works out to be about 20.
Yep.
they get all up in arms about their sports ball.
Well, it's a great for me. It's a great way to spend the day. I mean, really, the section I like, to sit in the stadium is in full sun. I like the day games. I'm
Hmm.
not a fan of the night games for a couple of reasons. Number one, right now it's difficult for me to get home from a night game because the game ends perilously close to the time the last bus here
Hmm.
runs. So that's a little thing I have to watch. And then the other thing is I just like the day game better. You're out in the sun, you're watching the baseball, you're having a hell of a good time. Um, so I've made a what do you want to call tradition of it?
Hmm.
At least one, possibly four day games in a season. Last year, I couldn't do the day game for my favorite team because they didn't have any day games here in Pittsburgh. Damn it. Because usually in a series they'll have one day game, but the Nationals did not have a day game in the series.
Yeah, since I've started sort of taking up photography. I've been getting my boyfriend to take me to all kinds of places that are opportunistic for photo taking. Where
Mm-hmm.
did I put these pictures?
Oh my, there's stuff I love to do. I take it most cameras now have the burst mode,
Hmm.
or you can be shooting pictures as long as you've got the shutter release button down. So I happen to like pitching anyway. Well, when I was younger, I wanted to pitch in the worst way, and unfortunately, I did. So from my section up in the upper deck, I'll shoot the pitcher going through his motion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice. I mean, if you've got 3 frames per second or something like that, you can freeze the ball in midair and the whole thing like that. It's a bunch of fun. I love it.
Yeah. See, I got myself a Nikon D3200 on clearance for $50 brand new. $600 camera. I could sell it on eBay now for $400, probably $500 now with the lens that he's bought me. But I'm sharing my screen if you want to pop it on for a couple minutes, Purple.
Yeah, you can turn this off.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay, a
There's
D5200.
line there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, 32. So
32.
this picture I screwed up. I was trying to zoom in on the lights, and I got the grasses in front of it, which you see.
You know, I kind of like it this way.
Mm-hmm. This is the picture that I. This is not the picture I'm thinking of. This is the picture that I like. They've got a phoenix or a falcon. You could say, I guess, maybe a falcon. I don't know, but I just love the. I've got this wide shot, but if I want, I could literally zoom up on its face.
Yep.
And the quality is still there.
Now zoom out back to where it was before.
Mm-hmm.
That's a phenoctopus, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you get the. Yeah, I was just playing with it. A couple of pictures I took.
So your D3200, there we go, has slightly better specs than my Rebel T5.
Mm-hmm.
But they're comparable.
I like how this picture here. I'm looking at the blue things, but if you come down here to the corner, you can.
Whoa! Are we talking Chihuly here?
What?
Are we talking Dale Chihuly on that
I have
piece?
no idea.
Because damn, that looks like a Chihuly.
Well, I could Google it. Yeah. Dale Chihuly. His
signature is all over it. We've got a few Chihulies at the Phipps Botanical Gardens.
And there, I was just taking a. Oh, who's that? Oh, take a picture of the skyline, and then some zoomed. Oh, how many frogs are in this picture?
How many frogs?
Yeah, you showed me this one before.
I see 2 at least.
There's 4.
4. I see the one on the wall. Yeah.
2.
3. Is there one at the tip of the leaf?
4.
Right.
I'm not sure about that. I think that's just the leaf. But when I took this picture, I only saw the 1 frog. And then I was going over it on my camera and realized that there was 4.
Yeah, the 2 off to the right side, you're not seeing the heads on them, so they're not as clear.
And then they had a tropical room, and I got this foggy picture, which I thought was pretty cool. Snapping turtle, and then I started taking pictures of the flowers finally. Let's see.
There's something. I wonder if I could find budget.
They have a edible garden there, and it's just.
I could go quite a few places with that.
With what?
Edible garden.
Oh.
Mushrooms or. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can do this one right.
Let's see.
Save. Okay.
This is the the more interesting thing in the botanical garden.
Wait, I got to see on the egg thing. Ooh,
Called the Earth Goddess. It's supposed to be green.
looks blue to me.
Well, we went in the winter, so we're gonna go back after. So he ordered me a 50 through 300 millimeter lens, and so
Okay.
We're gonna go back after we get it to this
Not a
botanical garden,
not a bad tube of glass. A nice
so that I
general
can
purpose zoom telephoto. Yeah.
so I can take some of these pictures again and see how the season changes them.
Hmm.
Oh my!
Is
Oh
it-
my!
This picture here with the tree in the pot, he was using his cane to make droplets just out of the frame, so I'd get the ripple effect in the water.
Okay, but the problem is if you go back there in another season, how are you going to get the frogs to pose in the same position?
There you go. Yeah, it's
Oh,
problematic.
I just face revealed my boyfriend. Oops.
I've
Yeah,
seen
you
his
did it
face
last time you showed
before.
me these two.
Yeah, but I don't think you were on the camera when I did that.
I saw his face last time.
But yeah, it's just goofing with camera. I'm hoping that means I'll be able to take better pictures at Faithless Forum this year.
Why, so you can dox all the other people?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, now if you can see this, this is one of the rooms that are all full of Chihuly pieces.
What?
There we go. This is at the Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, I can totally see the.
Yep.
Yeah, he had done a special showing, and this is from that showing. And when he broke everything down and and took off, he left a few pieces at Phipps. So yeah, but this is where I discovered Chihuly and discovered that hey, this guy does some good stuff. Okay, so let's. There we go.
Yeah, I would have been trying to go to Faithless Forum if I didn't wind up moving here.
Oh, we'll say I'd be trying to go there were it not for the medical stuff. So you and I are in kind of the same agfu. It's a what the hell. Okay, I'll try for next year.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I think if the choice is mental and all the improvements that you're saying will happen because you move, I would take the moving personally.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
with the
yeah,
move.
there's no
Oh, yeah.
question the long-term benefits. Well, see, the thing is, just next year we've got to get them to do Faithless Forum in Minneapolis.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there a convention? I think it was actually a free convention somewhere in Missouri some years ago. They were trying to do it an annual thing, but because they were trying to keep it free, they really just it petered out because they couldn't afford to run it anymore.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't
don't know how
surprise
they
me.
could do it for free. Even one of the gaming conventions I go to is all volunteer run, and they can't even do that for free.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, of course, they have to, pay for the convention space and so forth.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when this was going on. It had to be at least 10 years ago. I know I was a member of Facebook I had a Facebook account at the time, so it was 2008 or later.
Okay, well,
Does te petrada por colagabatian? No, I don't know what I just said, really. I don't.
I've had to be pushing myself to be on more normal hours because I've got to be finishing things up with other people.
And then, well, the thing is, you're going to have to get a shitload of rest, Sweetness, because you're going to be driving like crazy in about a week.
Well, yeah, I still got a shitload of packing to do before then. So yeah, I've been going almost 2.5 hours, and I should wrap it up here.
Okay, now when you say a shit,
Your audio is gone.
Yeah, Diana, your mic went out.
Still nothing.
Yeah, you just cut out right in mid sentence, and we can't hear anything.
That's the face of someone who's confused at why something's not working. No, still nothing.
Nope.
Has the plug fallen out on your mic?
Did we hit the button somewhere that we weren't supposed to touch?
Did you hit the space bar and mute yourself within the program?
Oh, okay, she's gonna go out and go
Old,
back
old
in,
fashioned one.
reset it.
Here's a picture for you. Let's have a look. Check that one. Yeah, there you go. And it's this, and it's like, how weird does that look? But it's actually
Oh, a
bunch
row
of-
of windmills.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, how tall was that thing to be that high above the houses.
Yeah, they're actually building them there, so they were installing them. It's a ship with stilts.
Oh.
This is Clacton. Baby seagulls? Or gulls?
Yeah, now we've got gulls and beagles and seagulls and eagles. So the deagle must have been an unsuccessful prototype they never put out.
Yeah. My favourite planet, Neptune. Yeah, I got
Oh,
lots.
okay. Diana said something froze on her. I worship the darkness of space, the great void, because I believe that nothing is sacred.
I just had a phase when I went looking at animals, different animal pictures, just waiting for it. There you go. So a smiley picture.
Oh wow, that poor dog.
My cat took my spot on the couch, so I decided to annoy her enough to make it to move. We are at a stalemate.
Hey, it happens all the time here. Let me show you.
Hi, my name is Stop That. Sometimes they call me Get Back Here. I like giraffes. Everybody loves giraffes except for old MacDonald.
I didn't know he had anything against them.
Well, the problem is, if you sang the song for Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and on that farm he had a giraffe with a... What noise
Oh.
do
Ah,
giraffes
yes.
make?
Okay, I get you now. Okay, people think I'm joking when I say this, but half the time when I'm in chat, I have to be balancing the keyboard on Sammy's back because he lays across my legs, and that's the only way I can type.
Right.
Oh, come on. Damn it.
What's loading up?
Yeah, it's my thing is lagging because I was trying to stop sharing my screen.
Ah, that's where that picture went. I was looking for it recently. I thought,
And
where
now
is
I
that?
can't get it back because I think that I think one of the
Well, let me
maintenance
stop.
programs started to try and start up here,
Ah,
and now I'm frozen and I can't get out of here.
uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step out here.
Question for you. You said you're going back to Minnesota. Where are you now?
Mm. Oh. Oh, ow.
Ow.
Okay, let's see.
No, not okay.
No.
Oh my! Get
Yeah, not okay.
Yep.
Nope, still bad.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of feedback. Can anybody hear me, or am I on the wrong one here?
Yeah, no, I can. It's not good. Ah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, but now
Okay,
you're
is it
gonna
still
fall quiet
better?
again.
Oh, but it is loud.
Okay.
Yes, it's good, but your voice is really, really loud.
Well, I'll fix that. It's oh, come on. I'm not. Oh man.
Yep.
Not anymore.
I'm not on an. I'm not on an instant. Oh, where is this thing? I'm not muted correctly. Okay, now I'm correctly muted. Let's find out what's good. People have to learn that nobody is on an instant reply. Jesus Christ. Okay, input. Okay, there's microphone, all that stuff. Is it any better now?
Yeah, I'm not hearing the feedback.
No feedback, but really loud.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay, I'm turning it down. Is this any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yep.
Okay, so something else for me to look at. No big deal. Let's see where else we are. Okay, the input thing over there. I'm going to try something for a half a second.
Whatever you were doing, you're muted.
Did she mute herself? Yep.
No, it. Oh no! It's not.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just go back here. And what I'm going to have to do is a lot of checking. I'm beginning to wonder if because I don't notice things like this going on when I'm using Google Meet and OBS. So I don't know if it's platform specific. I'm going to have to find out.
Yeah.
And if this is a problem whenever I come on here, I guess I just don't come on here.
Oh, well, that would be a problem. So then I wouldn't get to talk to you much since I can't get OBS to run on mine.
I'll have to pound on it and see what happens. One of those deals. It was before and since I spun studio around, so that means it was before or since I rebuilt this thing. I don't know. Gonna have to
Greg.
find out. Is there a Greg Hartwick? Yes, there is.
Hello, dear.
Yes, Greg has been extremely generous with me.
Oh my.
Yay.
Oh, Diana, I've got a question. Normally when you have a Hangout going, or the Google Meets going, I have to sort of like try and get your attention. Do you have like a mailing list that you set out when you're trying to get your usuals on?
I'm working on that. I don't have everything set up the way I want it yet. Yeah, no, if you're talking about things like Neil has or stuff like that, I really don't have one of those yet.
Well, I was just wondering, how do you get, like, for example, you had Kate in there.
Well, Kate is my right hand. I always send her the link to the chat before it starts because, I mean, if you haven't noticed, she's always there. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I could run an open chat or a coffee with Lavender without her anymore. The whole thing is, it's difficult for me to run solo, to fly solo.
Yeah.
Keeping it interesting is difficult. And whenever Kate's around, we've got some banter going back and forth and stuff like that. And it's a lot easier to go that way. And it's a lot more interesting as far as I'm concerned. And the audience seems to like it. And yeah, shut up, Clarion.
Well, I always find it extremely difficult if I have to start up alone. Because I just very quickly run out of things to talk about if I don't have somebody else in there.
Now I'm eventually going to do something that is provisionally called flying solo, but that thing is only going to be like a half an hour, one of those deals. And then we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
But I've got stuff to do. I've got a lot of stuff to fix up, a lot of stuff to clean up.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the weather to get warm, and then I guess what I'm going to do is just order the hardware and then let the pool, the PayPal pool, go, and then whatever I get, that way I'll just toss it on once it's done, because I've got about $400 worth of hardware to buy, a couple new video cards, another, a second monitor. Because what I want to do is run 2 monitors. Hopefully it'll make it easier for me to do things, because I'm flipping between tabs now just to
I know how that
see
feels.
what's going on, and it's a little bit of a little problematic at times. But
Yeah, that's same here. And when I get set up in the new apartment, I gotta figure out how I can set it up so I can have 2 monitors going.
another thing is I have to wait until the weather gets warmer because the common carriers refuse to deliver to me if I'm not waiting for them right at the door. They immediately post the note, you weren't here, and we're dropping this at the terminal that's a 6-hour walk from you.
Yeah, well,
So,
unfortunately, that's become a problem because the companies put the drivers on such ridiculous quotas for how many packages they have to deliver a day that the drivers
Okay.
can't even afford to wait at the door for 30 seconds for somebody to get there.
Okay,
Maybe-
then, because I would leave a note taped to the door, please call this number, I'll meet you at the door. And for a while they did that.
Yeah.
And then that quit.
Yeah, the drivers can't do that anymore. They'll never meet their quotas and they wind up, getting penalized for it.
Yeah, that's annoying because I had something of that today. Yesterday now. I had a parcel that was supposed to be delivered on the 19th, and the guy didn't turn up. And then suddenly I look at the UPS thing and it says it's been delivered to a pickup point on the opposite side of town.
Mm-hmm.
I phoned them up to ask them to re-deliver it, and apparently that's not been added to the account anyway. So the guy didn't bring it to me as I expected today. So this evening, I had to go out and get it myself.
Yep.
And I've got agoraphobia, so that's great. That was loads of fun for me.
Yeah, this whole thing seems to be designed, or it's getting designed, or whatever, that you have to be entirely self-sufficient. You have to have personal transportation, your own motor vehicle. You have to be able to do all these things by yourself, for yourself, especially when you cannot afford to do that.
Well, but they don't realize that, they're going to wind up killing their own business because everybody got in the habit of ordering everything online so that they didn't have to go out and get stuff. But if everybody's got to go out to the terminal to pick up their packages, they're going to stop ordering online and they're just going to go back to driving to Walmart again.
Yeah, well, who's going to kill the business? Whose business is going to get killed? Is it the online vendors or is it the common carriers?
Well, it'll wind up being both because, the carriers aren't going to have any business if people aren't ordering stuff from Amazon.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. And there's the thing. I don't know if this is based on the size of the package or what's going on. I used to get Amazon packages delivered to the door. The guy, I know he wasn't supposed to be able to get in, but the way the people in this building are, they leave the door ajar even when you're not supposed to. And he could get into the building and knock on my door and then, oh, hi, it's, this is free. Oh, terrific. They haven't done that lately. With the cat food and the cervical traction that was delivered UPS. And I had to be right there at the fucking door.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that, just a couple of years ago, they used to do that kind of thing. And it's like, now they don't anymore.
The thing is that you have to remember that that's not necessarily who you're ordering from. It's UPS or
it is. I understand that it is
Okay.
the common carrier, and then you're forced into it because all the common carriers behave that way.
Yeah.
So no matter where you go, no matter what you do, the delivery agent, the common carrier, is going to screw you over. Like me, if I need something, and it's something I have to order from California, I have to be sitting at the door in the cold because it does get cold across that glass door, and I have to sit there for an average of 6 to 8 hours because I don't know when the guy's coming. So that's why I'm waiting for it to get warmer so I can sit at the picnic bench outside. Maybe take my laptop out there, or a book, or both.
Yep.
Because I'll be going out there at 9 a.m. and the package might get delivered at 10. It might get delivered at 6.
Yep.
And it's not a matter of, oh, I can do without this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, if I shut everything down, I could. And that's what that's what the assholes would tell me. Well, you don't need to rent any shit anyway. But okay, if you're in a position where you do need something and you have to have it delivered to you, there's nothing you can do.
And your apartment doesn't have an office?
No.
Hmm.
It has a security door, no buzzer system, no office. Oh yeah, it's fun.
Well, even the building I'm in, there's an office, but there's only somebody in the office maybe about 6 hours a week.
Wow.
When it came to my
Well, you have to remember something, Kitty. This is Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura, when I say Section 8, I'm talking not as good as a council flat.
Yeah. Well, that's why there's somebody in the office here occasionally, but it's one building manager who has to handle 5 buildings across the county.
Yeah, I mean here, when the building manager did the annual inspection to make sure the toilet's flush and everything, she's pointing above my bathtub and says, "Yeah, well, that's coming apart." I said, "Yeah, I told these guys about it when the girl upstairs had her bathtub leaking onto my ceiling, and then she knew about that." And I said, "Well, you're supposed to tell these guys." I said, "I did." And okay, now that was at least a month, maybe 2 months ago. Nobody's been here yet.
Yep.
If I have the numbers correct, these people have about 1,000 units throughout Allegheny County, and they might have half a dozen maintenance people.
I've got
Just
stuff
went
I wrote
silent.
on the inspection
mean?
form when I moved in here 2.5 years ago. And I've written it on the maintenance sheet on the bulletin board at least 3 or 4 times. It still hasn't gotten fixed.
Mm-hmm. I would do it myself, but number one, they don't want it. And number two, they'd get accustomed to me doing it myself. And,
Yeah, I'd do it myself, but I know I'd get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Well, my problem with my delivery day before yesterday and yesterday now is apparently when I went to pick it up, the people who do the drop-off point, they said, "Oh yeah, he doesn't like to do intercoms."
Yeah, and Greg,
And
Amazon is starting up their own delivery business. And
Well,
it's
I'm looking over here.
One of the things that Amazon is doing is, as they're getting rid of workers in their warehouses and that, they're trying to encourage them to start up delivery businesses to drive for Amazon. So that basically Amazon can own the entire supply chain from the factory to the delivery.
Now, I thought there was something in the way called Taft-Hartley. I guess not, huh?
What's that?
That's, I thought, one of the monopoly structures that Taft-Hartley was designed to eliminate. The Taft-Hartley Act.
Oh, well,
No idea what that is.
even if it was, it's like, yeah, that stuff's not that stuff's not being enforced.
Trust busting, Kitty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm seeing something over here, a headline. 16 December 2019, Amazon blocks sellers from using FedEx Ground for Prime shipments. That's from the Wall Street Journal. So I
hadn't
guess
heard
they're
about that
blocking
one,
them.
but yeah.
Do they have a reason?
Yeah. Okay. From the first paragraph of the article, Amazon.com Incorporated is blocking its third-party sellers from using FedEx Corporation's ground delivery network for Prime shipments, citing a decline in performance heading into the final stretch of the holiday shopping season.
Right, so it's exactly what you're saying. Like, they're not actually delivering the packages. And so Prime's like, Amazon's like, you're not doing your job. We don't want our people to send with you anymore. Because it looks bad on Amazon if
Yeah.
you order something through Amazon and it gets lost because of UPS.
Well, I don't think it's that it's getting lost. I think it's just because Amazon is promising 2-day shipping, and maybe FedEx is not getting enough of them there in 2 days.
Well, something else I can tell you. I'm not even advertising my wish list anymore because more than once they have refused to deliver something somebody has bought for me.
Wait, what? What?
They claim, okay, somebody buys something from my wish list for me, and I was told that they said it got lost in transit a couple of times already. I
Right.
don't believe them. I don't believe them for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I am guessing or whatever that they simply refuse to deliver it. So that's all sorts of fun. So I'm not even advertising my wish list anymore.
Or did they leave it at your building and the package got taken?
Well, that's what ended up happening. That's what ended up happening to my boyfriend's aunt. She placed something, and now she was actually home recovering from surgery, and they didn't knock on the door. She was sitting in the living room on her laptop the entire time waiting for her package, and they just didn't answer the door. I mean, they just didn't knock on the door.
I wonder if there is a vendor or a service or whatever it is from whom one can buy a glitter bomb and have it delivered to the front porch.
Probably.
And then when the person picks up the package, boof, they're all full of glitter and yay!
Yeah.
Oh, one of these people that I watch on YouTube, you may have heard of her, Creepshow Art. You may not have. She put a tweet out where she was waiting for some of her own merch to show up, and it didn't show up. And then guess who she finds wearing her merch?
The driver?
Her apartment managers.
Yeah.
And so now it's happened like 2 or 3 times where her packages have disappeared, and she's of course sure that it was the.
I take it there's not enough that could support a charge of theft, right?
Probably not.
And then putting a camera out there would be a violation of some sort of constitutional rights, right?
I guess I'm not 100% sure. Well, I don't know how it works.
If it's a multi-unit building, then yeah, one of the residents could not do it. It could only be done by the building management, and only if they notified all the residents before doing so.
And of course, the building management isn't going to do it because it appears that the building management is culpable.
Right. Well, and even if they weren't the ones actually involved in it, the building management probably wouldn't do it because it would open them up to greater responsibility for things going missing.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. Is I've been after the building management, please, could you consider putting cameras on the inside of the building by the entry doors, the doors that allow you in from the outside. Because I don't know if it's happening at the other building or not, but this building, the people are propping the doors open, they're breaking the hinges doing it, all this other happy stuff. People who don't belong here are getting in, everything else like that. So maybe with cameras pointed at the doors, you might be able to see a face and know who to evict. But they talk about putting the cameras outside, and it's no, that's not going to do it, because they're open. They're propping them open from the inside, and they don't seem to understand what those words mean.
I had an amusing situation where I had some fabric sent from America because I can sew, and I was making a girlfriend of mine something. And so she sent me some fabric from, I can't remember where she was now. It was Alabama. Yeah, she was in Alabama. And it didn't arrive. And so after it normally takes about a week, maybe a week and a half. But after 3 weeks, it hadn't arrived, and it's like, make sure it's been sent or whatever. And yes, it's been sent. Okay, well, it hasn't arrived. So I got in contact with Parcel Force, which is the Royal Mail Parcels Department. And they claimed that it had been delivered. And it had been delivered to someone in a different building, because there's 3 buildings like mine. So the person who it had been delivered to wasn't able to take it because they were going on holiday, and they asked them to send it to their work address. So I ended up having to go to Burger King in the centre of Manchester, 6.5 miles away, to get a parcel that came from Alabama.
I had a problem a few months back ordering parts for my car because they sent them to the town of the same name in the next state over.
Oops.
I did have another amusing one. So one day, postman arrives with a big, massive sack, heavy, massive sack, and so it says Parcel Force again. So I get, I sort of open it up, and then it's like, what the hell's this? And so I look at the address on it, and it's for the flat above me in the next building over. So if I live on the 10th floor, it's for the 11th floor in the next door building. So quickly as I could, I ran out on the balcony and yelled over the balcony, "Oi, you've delivered it to the wrong place. Come back up." So he comes back up, and I said, "Look, you've delivered it to the wrong place." And it's like this idiot couldn't tell the difference between a 1 and a 2. And it looks like it, it looks like a 1. It's like, no, that's a 1. And there was this sort of weird thing where I was trying to explain to him that the address, and then the phone number. Oh no, it was a 0. Sorry, it was a 0. He said a 0 was a 1 because the person who'd done it, they'd done like almost like 2 lines almost. It was like a really squarish looking. Oh no, sorry, I've got the story wrong. No, it was a 1, but what they'd done is they'd used a biro and they'd just written like 2 lines to go over the same thing, and because they bent it a little bit on the return, it kind of looked like an O, like
Yeah.
when you get like a lizard's eye or something, just a little sort of slice kind of shape. So it was like a tall diamond with only a tiny bit of gap in between. And I said, "There's a phone number below. Look, that's an O. That's not an O. That's a 1. Because if you look there, there's a 1 there. because it's got 1 in the phone number. So it's got a 1 and an O. That one's a 1. That one's an O. So this is not a 1. And he said, well, it is, because that's a phone number. And it was like, because it's on the phone number line, you can't understand that there's a 0, an O, and a 1. Aren't the same thing. Because it's like, yeah, that's the number of my, that's the number. But it's supposed to. I live at 102. It's 112. And because the second one, because he just like drawn 2 line, the person who'd written it had tried to write, on a biro a couple of times to get it have a harder thing to see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thicker line to see. He'd gone and put 2 lines, and there was a slight gap between the 1 on the second one. And so he delivered it to 102 because he saw that little line and then couldn't understand that although that was a number on an address line, he couldn't understand that the number on a phone number was the same thing. It's like, yeah, that's a number, but it's on the address line. It's like, but that's a phone number. And it's like, yeah, but they're still numbers. That's the address and that's the phone number. I said, yeah, but they're still numbers. The 102 is a number. The 112 is a number. Yeah, but that's the address. Oh, of course. And it's like he was like a dyslexic moron who just couldn't understand concepts of a number on an address line is still a number. Even the phone number and the number on the address line are still numbers. And because he was thinking it was an address and that's a phone number, so they're different things. It's like, yeah, but they're still the same thing. It's still a number. And in the end, okay, I'll just take it upstairs then. But it was in the building next door. It's for crying out loud. It's just astounding how stupid some people are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that a lot. With my job, where we're doing stuff with Uber and Uber Eats and all that now, and it's like some of the drivers are just dumb as rocks. There's instructions. They receive instruction email that says, drive around to the side of the store. And they come into the store looking for the packages that they're going to deliver. And I'm just like, you have to drive around the store. They didn't tell me that. It's in the email that you've got. And it's just like, I can't stand how that we're supposed to coddle people that are that dumb sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do need to shut this down so I can go lay down for a while.
Okay.
I'm slightly disappointed because I'm just trying to find something that's really funny. And I can't remember exactly what it said, but it's like basically, maybe it isn't. It's basically, it's like your Uber has arrived, and it gives the name of the driver or whatever, and it's Jesus or it's Jesus. So Jesus is waiting for you outside. It's like, fuck. I'm being threatened by Jesus now. It's around here somewhere.
Well, Jesus,
we don't have to worry about that.
Some fun.
Yep. In the U.S., we don't have to worry about that. They wouldn't let Jesus over the border.
It was an American one, but it was comical.
Okay.
No,
well, appreciate y'all coming tonight.
Hey.
Yep.
So,
thank you very much. Thanks for hosting.
we will catch you all later, and we'll be running the fundraiser all day Saturday from noon to midnight. And then on Sunday morning, Dick Dawson will be picking it up at 9 a.m. and running it until Diana begins her coffee with lavender.
Yay.
And she's going to be doing the final wrap up for me.
Yay.
So we're already up a little over 1,500. So this is, may actually get there. So we're hoping for the best. So we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.